Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is Wednesday, 25th February 2026. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. Today's title is Storm in a Teacup. The markets are behaving like, the proverbial storm in a teacup. What I want to convey by this is if you really look at day-to-day basis, you'll see a lot of volatility happening. And then one day it is down. For instance, yesterday Nifty was down more than 300 and odd points, close to 400 points, and all the bears came running and saying that it's collapsing. And day before yesterday it went up, and then the bulls came running and saying we'll hit a new high. Now, if you really look at last 2 years, for instance, if you take from December of 2023, when Nifty crossed 22,000 for the first time, and last year and in September 2024 when it crossed 26,000 and odd, and recently also it went about 26,000 and odd. So about 4,000 points is the range between December 2023 and February end of 2026, which means for the nearly about 27 months, the market has been moving in a range of 20%. That is the high and low if you take 20%. However, if you now go further and then you look at between 15 July 2024 and till yesterday, that is another, I would say, one and odd years, about 18 to 20 months, the market has been going in a range of only 10%. That is, that time it was 24,400, and now the high we have seen is 26,400. So the amount of confusion and chaos, for instance, after that we had, the peak in the market in September, then we had a crash in up to February 2025. Then it went up in April 2025. There was a crash because of Trump's tariffs. Then it went up. Then in May there was a crash of May of last year. There was a crash because of the Indo-Pakistan war, and so on and so forth. There have been any number of events, any number of storms, but the tea has not spilled out of the teacup. So there's only a storm in a teacup. I don't think one should get very excited with either the market going up or get very depressed if the market comes down on a day-to-day basis. I think if we are in a zone where the volatility will be there and it is unlikely to go away, one has to look at stocks. So you all know what stocks we have done. And incidentally, yesterday, the FIS just sold about 100 crores. DIS bought about 3,000 crores. One would have expected if it's a 400-point drop in Nifty intraday, one would have expected heavy FI selling. That was not there. So yesterday the focus was on IT again, and IT pulled the index down. IT is about 10 to 12% of the Nifty. So therefore, a 4.5% drop in IT index will put that dent into the Nifty also. Bank Nifty was better, but still Bank Nifty also struggling because HDFC and ICICI Bank are not really doing well. So one has to depend on fewer and fewer stocks for the market to go up. And anyway, the market has come down, but anyway, the scripts have come down. So people have to find new stocks for them to push down beyond a level. In my opinion, 24,000 will be a good support and 26,500 will be a good resistance. So we are talking about 2,500 point range. The storm will be there. It will continue. One has to be prepared for that, but one need not be afraid if you are buying on decline. I am not a sophisticated advisor, but I'm just telling you this is what the perspective is based on facts. So whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.